Hello, I am just coming on here live, and this is my little sign that just says I want to talk to parents and teachers and what is education in 2020 going to be like for the fall. And I just had some thoughts that I just were going through my head earlier, and I just wanted to share some information to maybe get you all thinking about the fall. I know that the president gave a talk and he said we need to open our schools. And I agree with him that the kids need to be attended to. And according to what I have seen personally, I mean, I am just in my own little world here. I don't watch the mainstream media. I usually get my information from my own choices, right? Hello, Casey. I choose where to get my information from. So that could mean that I'm getting the right information or I could be getting the wrong information. I really don't know, but I know that you can go to the CDC website and you can get the numbers there. And I live in New Hampshire, which is a very rural state, and we are they're seeing some cases. It's not like there is no virus going around, but it's definitely not crippling our society. People are still moving around. People are at Walmart. We were just at Walmart earlier today. Unfortunately, I saw a mask on the parking lot. And people are just going crazy about, you have to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask. And then they just throw it on the ground. And honestly, I'm not seeing that these masks are saving lives because the way they're wearing it is not. If you want to wear the mask, you need to follow all the rules for the masks. So that's just not happening. So anyway, I want to talk about what we should be thinking about. So some of us, if you have your kids in the public school, you have you'll have to be doing what they tell you to do. I mean, you don't really have a choice. We can't change the whole world by September or August for some people. But I just wanted to put it out there to those of you who are thinking about the fall and what are we going to do. And it's a discussion that I've seen on Facebook and different groups and everything. And I just want to put it out there, okay? If you have children, please do not be desperate for school to start. And do not act like it's the end of the world if your child doesn't go back to school. I know that's really hard to hear, but we need to recognize that the government has put a stop to school, okay? I have homeschooled in the past, and I have felt like the government might come in and, do something so that I can't homeschool. Homeschooling is a free choice in America right now. And that is actually a good thing. And I know that it's inconvenient for a lot of people if you work or your kids love school, they want to be around other children and things like that. Definitely, I mean, if you love school, I think that you should want to go to school, but don't get on social media and act like you're desperate that you have to start school and that you'll do whatever they say to start school, because we don't want to start it the way they want to start it, do we? I mean, from what I'm hearing in my state, they're talking about just really crazy things to do that are going to make it really difficult for the kids. And in my opinion, I would rather stay home and try to teach my own children than to put them through that stuff. And the other thing is we have a political cloud right now. Think about your kids going to school. And then, what about the mask issue? You wearing a mask? Do you always wear a mask? And then we're going to have kids like bullying each other about the masks, bullying each other about, the politics and stuff like that. Think about what the public school is trying to portray. Think about how we got to this point. And I think that if you watched President Trump's message at Mount Rushmore, he mentioned how we need to appreciate our country, and we need to look at what we have and why do we have it? Why do we have the freedom to be able to talk about the things that we talk about? And so think about those things. Think about how we got to this point. And I know for me, I was on a group, a town group, not my town, another town, and they were having a parade and they were doing things they shouldn't be doing. And people were kind of arguing on the group. And it turned out the antagonists were kids. They weren't even old enough to vote. So if all these kids go back to school, what is that going to be like at the school? And you as a parent, you are not going to be there to monitor the conversation, to be there for your child. Think about it. Is that really what you want? I mean, we do want school and we want the best for our kids, and we know that our kids are suffering, but really, really think about what you're asking for, okay? And I want the kids to go to school, and I want everything to be the way it should be. But we don't want them to be, we don't want to be so desperate that we force something that we are sorry that we forced on our children. So I just wanted to kind of put a bug in your ear if you watch this video to just be careful. Don't ask for something that will be, in the end, it might be worse for your kid than staying home. So that's my second point, was that I wanted to just say that parents, use this time to teach your children yourself. And as the president said, we need to get back to history. There are a lot of really good resources for kids right at home. And I know for me, I have World Book encyclopedias, which I got when my oldest kid was younger. I wanted to have my own encyclopedia. And a lot of that, there is new information, but a lot of the foundational information is the same. And so you can have them do some reports, have them research some things, have them work on history. Now, for me, I have a Christian curriculum, which I really love. And this is first grade. This is first grade. And in this, it's My America, My World. And it has different things about the flag. What is the flag? What is the meaning of the flag? It talks about freedom, the freedom of the press, the symbols for our country, the eagle, the Liberty Bell. And a lot of the kids in our public schools are not getting this stuff, and we have the opportunity to teach our kids patriotism and what our country is all about. And we can help our kids in that way. We can teach them these things. We can teach them ourselves. And so I wanted to just share that with you. We can also do science with our kids. We can take them out gardening. I'm home more, so I put up some bird feeders, and we're able to see the birds come to the bird feeders. We're able to see the squirrels eat the bird feeders. And we also have had bears and deer and all different types of animals. So it's a chance for us to get back to the simple things. I know when I was in school, we were in a building all day long, and we did learn a lot of things, but there were also some other things that we neglected. So this is the time that we can focus on those things that we're missing during our everyday, really busy life. Another thing is we can get into cooking, have the kids do some cooking and have them make dinners, have them make lunches, have them put together salads, have them cut up the vegetables. I know when I was doing school every day, sometimes you come home and you just throw something together and you're so tired you don't really think about cooking. Have them make some bread, have them make homemade pizza, do those kinds of things that you might not have done when you were really, really busy. Another thing is teach them responsibility. I know I'm working on that with my kids, because when we're every day, we get up in the morning, we run out the door, we come back and things get neglected. So getting back to a routine and teaching them responsibility, teach them home repairs. My kids help me when I put together my pool and put in the pool liner and everything. And I'm teaching them all of these things that maybe if we were so busy, we wouldn't have been learning, or if we were running here, running there, we wouldn't have been working on. And also, this is an election year, so this is an opportunity for you as a parent to delve into studying up on your on those people that are running for president or even governor. Like we're voting on our governor this year, and there are also other offices within our state that we will be voting on, and you could use this time to have your kids be involved. I know that through the years I've been to public school, and they do use this opportunity to share with the kids who the people are that are running, what they stand for, and how to vote. And I know that Teacher Kelly, she did a really great out school class for my kids. And at first they weren't really that into it. But afterwards they were like, yeah, we want to do that again. You know, once kids realize that there's so much more to learn, then it kind of sparks their interest so they can get back into it. So this is a year that you can just really open up as a family, and you can teach your values and have the kids, you know, make up their own mind of who they think the best president would be, and find out what they stand for, what they believe, and, you know, who would they vote for if they could vote, and someday they will vote. So this is an opportunity for you as a parent. Also, I wanted to share with you that right now I have done homeschooling, and right now this is not really like homeschooling. Like I was sent home. Some of you may not know, but I taught at a Christian school, and we have a small Christian school that my kids went to, and I taught, and we were all sent home in March. The people of New Hampshire have a big say in the presidential election. Yes. Yes, yes, we are the first, and we always are looked at like who's going to win. And thank you, Kelly, for, yeah, it's huge. And, you know, living here, you don't really realize it as much because it seems normal to us, but other people share that with us, and we realize that that is. Actually, Trump is coming to New Hampshire on Saturday, and I'm personally not going to go. I will definitely watch, but I'm just not really one to really follow the crowds, especially now. Now, when Dr. Ben Carson was in New Hampshire, that was really awesome. He did a Christmas program in Concord, New Hampshire, which is our capital city. And we were able to actually be a part of it. My kids sang a song. It was like a program, and they had different people do talents, and our school all together sang a Christmas song. And Dr. Penn Carson spoke before at the beginning, and he spoke after, and his wife Candy played the violin, and she sang Mary Did You Know? And it was amazing because I love that song, Mary Did You Know? And I just love Candy Carson. Like, I just think she is the most amazing person. I would have loved to have had her as the first lady, and that's who I wanted at the time, but he ended up not continuing in the race. But I'm so thankful that he is working in, you know, in the White House or whatever he does. Urban development, I think he's in. So he's a really amazing Christian man, and he has a wonderful testimony. So I did go to that, but that wasn't really packed out. I'm thinking that the Trump rally will be packed out, and it is, you know, the coronavirus thing. So I'm just not that pushy. But anyway, he is coming to New Hampshire. And so this is a really great opportunity. It's a great year for being able to share with your kids. Now, my daughter has little kids, and that's really hard for her to deal with the little kids. But yeah, my son that sings at our church, he sings that song. So it has special meaning to me because he has sung it as well. Yeah, I love that song. So yeah, so I just wanted to share with the parents that this is an opportunity for you, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you have to teach your kids. They're your kids. You can do it. This is a really hard time, and things are different, and I think it would be better that parents would all keep their kids home than we go and we have a major fiasco at the school. It just makes me nervous with all of the unrest in our country to, I don't know. It just makes me nervous to think about kids all going back to public school. Now, where I go to school is a Christian school, and it's a small school. We have a huge building, and they can totally separate the kids and everything. I don't think that would be a problem at all, and I don't think it would be a problem for anything really. I think they would be perfectly safe, but they're just kind of waiting for the state recommendations for the school. But I just wanted to share with parents, if if it comes time, I know President Trump wants the schools to open. And if you watched his talk with Melania a couple days ago, he was talking about opening school and that he recommends it, the kids need it. And I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. But if your state is going to make it so hard because the kids all have to wear masks and, they've got all of these different regulations that are impossible to keep, then I think that we have to say, you know what, we have to do what's best for our kids. And in the situation, we can't always have everything the way we want it to be. So when I homeschooled years ago, it wasn't really my first choice because I went to school to be a teacher. And it wasn't really my first choice to have to homeschool, but because of my situation, I had to. So what I did was I went and I read a lot of books about homeschooling. And I looked at all of the homeschooling families that I could see that I knew. I joined homeschool groups and I looked at the kids and I said, these are the cream of the crop. These kids are respectful. They are smart. They get along with their parents. There was so many good aspects to these kids, and I wanted to be a part of that community. But then when I homeschooled myself, I realized it's hard. It is a hard job to homeschool. But one thing you need to remember is that even if you are homeschooling at this time and you're looking at the fall and you might end up having your kids at home, homeschooling is hard. And I'm sure that homeschooling during pandemic is also hard. Like, we have limitations that normally we would not have for homeschooling. So keep that in mind. So if you just said, well, the schools are going to move along and I'm just going to homeschool because I want to, that's a lot different than if you have to. But what you have to do is, I live in Florida and don't agree with the opening of schools. Yeah. So in Florida, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen so many different reports on different things. I've seen, my sister lives in Florida. So I just feel like if the kids are all packed in already, and then we're going to change it and we're going to, I don't know. In my town, they're talking about doing like kids go to school 2 days a week, and then the other half of kids go 2 days a week. And then on Wednesday, they do school at home. But I feel like as a parent, that might be harder to have a different schedule like that. And I feel like the kids might get lost in the shuffle. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of leaning toward homeschooling and maybe availing myself of the OutSchool program, plus making up my own program and trying to incorporate just learning regular stuff. Now, when I was homeschooling for a couple of years, I did a program called the Robinson Curriculum. And the Robinson Curriculum was a curriculum kind of put together by a man who he had a wife. His wife was, they had 6 kids and his wife died of cancer or something. And then she did all the homeschooling and he worked from home, but he didn't want to send his kids to school. So he made up this program, and his philosophy was to read for 2 hours, do English writing for 1 hour, and do math for 1 hour. So whatever program that you pick, you would just kind of keep to that schedule. And then, of course, you would kind of like guide all of those things. But that was his program. And really, if you read real books and you study something. So I did this for a little while, and what I did for part of my homeschooling was I have these set of encyclopedias, and I would tell the kids, you know, you can read about anything each day, and then you write about it. So they're basically doing a report every day. And so I have one kid that he chose a different animal every day. But some of the things they came up with were pretty creative. And, you know, it was really good because now my kids go to school and they do a lot of grammar, but they don't do a lot of creative writing. So back then they really were learning a lot more than they realized. So there are ways that you can educate your kids without making it so formal like a regular school. And sometimes they actually learn more. So keep that in mind. But my point of this video, the major point was, don't be so desperate that you want your kids to go to school that you'll do it any which way they say, because it might be worse for your kid than what you could do with your child, right? And so I have this video is about parents and teachers. So teachers, you know, teachers, we can be creative and we can do the outschool.com. We could offer our services to other families in need, maybe do Zoom or something like that, work out a Zoom program, tutoring program. Yeah. And so, you know, there are things that you can do as a teacher that you could be a benefit to your community. So keep that in mind, you know, and be ready to be a helper in your community, maybe beyond what you're doing right now with VIP Kid or with OutSchool even. You know, look to your community. Maybe your kids, if you have kids, maybe their friends need help, or kids in your neighborhood, somebody needs help. Like one year I had a friend, she homeschooled and she lived behind me down the street, and she made up a whole program for studying the states. And they did like lap books and they studied all the states. They played games and they couldn't wait. They did this twice a week, and it was a really great time for them. And, you know, as teachers, we could offer services like that in our community. I know for me, we have a lot of kids in our community, and in a way they are suffering and neglected, but in another way, we could step in and offer some help. We could offer, you know, and be there for our own kids as well. So I guess I wanted to encourage people, because I have seen a lot of things on Facebook that people are like, yes, I'm going to start school no matter what. But think about it. So far in our country, we are free to choose. And in our state, they're pretty accommodating to homeschoolers right now. So all I have to do is write a letter to the superintendent and say we're homeschooling, and I'm good to go. And so we're supposed to keep like some records of what we do during the school year so that they know that we've completed a year of school. But it's pretty open to how you want to do it. And then there are choices that you can do at the end, like you could do a GED, or you could do a transcript. I've done a transcript for some of my kids. Just I try to make sure that they get all the classes that they would have in a regular high school setting. And then I just make up a transcript for them, and it's been good. You know, a lot of colleges are accepting homeschool transcripts as well. Sometimes they just tell you to take your SATs and a transcript. Sometimes they'll tell you, like if it's a state school, they might ask you to do the GED and a transcript and everything, but it's totally doable, especially with this stuff going on. Everybody's going through it. So I just wanted to share that encouragement, maybe and of course we all have each other. We have the homeschool community, or the VIP Kid teacher community. We have the OutSchool community, and we have a lot of resources. So we are very fortunate to have what we have. For resources, I also wanted to share, if you want any kind of resources. I know the libraries are closed. Our library's closed. I was going to look up, I think the libraries are closed right now, but way back when I first started homeschooling, our state library was open for us to just ask for a book, and they would mail it, and then we could mail it back. And you might be able to get some action at your library to do that, mail out books. Our state library did it all for free. And they would put the book in the mail, send it to you for free, and they would also put a envelope in that envelope for you to send the book back with no postage. Like the postage was all paid for. I don't know if they still do that in my state, but I have done that before because I moved to a new town and all that. And I was reading a lot of books about homeschooling. So I went online, figured out what books I wanted, and they sent them to me. And if they're not doing that right now, you might be able to write to your state and ask them to open up that feature for homeschoolers. And they might do that, because a lot of these people are getting paid. They're just not working. So that might be something they would do for homeschoolers and people who are still at home. There's another resource that if you go to Gutenberg.org, you can get any book that is public domain. So these are books that are, I can't remember the year, but they were written before a certain year, and they're free for you to read online. They're also free for you to print out. So if you want to go, like I have a whole bunch of books, and that's what Robinson also mentioned. And I'll show you one of my books. So years ago, what I did was I did bring it over here. This is one of the ones that I printed out. So this wasn't through Gutenberg, but this is Robinson curriculum. And he put together some CDs of all these books. So this is McGuffey's First Reader, Eclectic Reader. And so I use these with my kids. And you can print these out on Gutenberg.org, or you could just go there and look at them. And it's all free for you to print out. So what I did was I had a special printer that could print out pages and pages, and there's a special way of doing it. You print it all out, then you cut them in half, and then you put them together with the duct tape. So I have a whole bunch of these that I printed out. There are a lot of books that are public domain that you can get for free. You can also get a lot of free books on your Kindle or your Nook if you want your kids to read books that there are really a lot of good old books that you can find for your kids to read, or maybe you could read out loud to them. Chapter books that you want to read out loud to them. This is Childhood's Happy Hours, and there are just so many good books. And there's so many, like they have really good morals in them and stuff like that. I just love them. There's so many good books. There's a man named Horatio Alger. There's really good books you can get off of, they're on the Kindle for free. He's a free author, and those books are old books, and these are books that talk about kids that have done amazing things in history, and it kind of gives you a history lesson along with what the young person did and how responsible he was and everything. And they're amazing books, and there are lots of them that he has written. And I would recommend these for boys. Now, if your boy doesn't really like to read, I would recommend that you read these out loud to him. And they're excellent. I've read a lot of them out loud to my kids through the years. There's a lot of girl books as well. So there are so many resources that we can get as parents and as teachers. And I just wanted to throw some ideas out there to you, thinking about the school year, thinking about what's up ahead. And so I know that different places are different. In my state, it's still like we're still wearing masks, and it's actually getting worse, but the numbers are going down. But the mask wearing, those who want to wear masks are getting more and more like forceful about it. So that's kind of frustrating. And so it's just really hard to think about little kids going into school and they're having to wear masks. I mean, school is hard enough without all of that other stuff going on. So I just wanted to, kind of share some thoughts and ideas and just get your mind going as far as, what do I want for the coming school year? I'm still thinking about my kids, and I've kind of come to the idea that we're going to homeschool. I may do a co-op type thing where I do, part-time teaching. I'm not sure if that's going to work out. We don't really know what's going to be expected at the school and how things are going to go for school. And I just want you to know I'm all for school, but this is also an opportunity for you as a parent to take control of your situation and make it really great. Because I have seen, even though the kids were sent home and the parents are told you have to homeschool, like you have no choice. And the parents had to do what they had to do. Like it was just all of a sudden. And then I've seen through all of that, instead of the education system saying, thank you, parents, you did a great job, they're saying, homeschooling is bad. I've seen, articles going around that, homeschoolers are blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's not fair, because they should be thanking all these parents for all of the hard work that they have done and how they have, had to rearrange their lives, and everything has changed. And we relied on the public school for all of these things. And then it was completely taken away with no, really good option. And the parents had to make do. And I think that we did well. I mean, the parents did well, and can't expect the parents to, have anticipated this. A lot of people had no preparation for it. And I just don't understand. There's no praise, our country is doing well. Like, people are stepping up. We're doing what we have to do. And these parents, their kids are alive. Like, I don't see kid dies from homeschooling. Like, that didn't happen. So, we can just step up and do what's best for our kids. And that's the way I've always felt, is that we are the parents. We are the first ones that are responsible for our children. When we send them to school, the school is working for us. That's the way it's supposed to be. But how it's gotten turned around, and the parents have let the school be in charge. But the school is supposed to be working for us. And if the school is not working for us right now, then it's back on us, and that's okay. And I've taught my kid through the years, we don't really even need a school, really. We have the internet, we have encyclopedias, we have books, we have resources. I mean, really, if you wanted to, you could, number one, you could buy books. Usborne Books have great books. There are so many good books. I just bought some books called The Tuttle Twins, which is all about economics. And it's kind of like cartoons, but it's about the American economic system. And my kids are like, well, those are easy. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. They're easy. So read them. And so we're going to read through those. And beyond that, you have Gutenberg.org. Beyond that, you have free books on Kindle. Beyond that, you have each other. Like, you could say, hey, I'll send you 4 books if you send me 4 books. What is your kid reading? You could, do that. Right before coronavirus, fortunately, I was at the library, and we have a section of the library where they sell a lot of books. And it's really cool. I got this whole series of pony books that my kids read years ago. And my granddaughter, I got them for her for Christmas. And I gave her the first one to try and read to see if she would like it. And then I plan on giving her the rest. And they're used, and they say our library name on them. And I'm like, that's fine. Because I said to her, your mom read these when she was a kid, and they were in our library. And now she can read them. And so it's just, that I'm so thankful that I picked those up. So that was like $2 for the whole series. And there might be ways that we can open up things, and write to your town library. Ask them to open up the library for you. I heard that our library might open up by appointment, like having a few people at a time go to the library so you can go in. Now, our library unfortunately replaced all of their good books with junk. So The good books are in the for sale pile, unfortunately. So I haven't really been going to the library, but you can buy books, and there's also videos. For science, I would recommend Moody Science videos. These are old videos. These, I had them all on VHS, and they were like really expensive. And now they're on YouTube for free. And they are amazing videos. You learn science, but there's also a lesson in those videos. Now, I also saw a series I'm interested in. It's called Drive Through History. I have not watched it. Hello, Luann. I have not watched Drive Through History, but I'm interested in checking into it. It looks like there's a guy, he's been all over the world, and he talks about different things in history and stuff like that. So I'm going to check into that for like a history program. And my kids have been doing a lot of video games, a lot of TV. You know, I have my daughter Lily, she's graduating a year early, so that's a blessing. She was supposed to be a junior this year, but she kind of doubled up on some of her classes. And so she's graduating, and then she's hoping to go to college in January. And then I have the 3 younger boys that Kelly met the other day in her class for out school. And so I'm hoping I'm going to get without school, and I'll be able to make enough money so I can put it back in for my boys to take some classes. And I did check on my background check, and they said it's going through the normal cycles because of COVID. Some of the DMV places are closed and everything, and so it's just taking a longer time. So hopefully it will be soon that I'll get that background check finished. So that's my advice, is just look at your situation. Now, what I've done for myself is, okay, this is the way it is, and it must be the Lord's will for me to do it this way right now. If that's my only choice, that's the Lord's will. And I want to say, you can do it. Every one of you can do it. And your kids may be better off. You know, they may be better off if you just teach them yourself. They can actually learn more. And we do have to find a way to reach them, to make them want to learn and try to help them to learn. Maybe help them learn something new, like an instrument, or, you know, zero in on what they really like and go with that. I know my granddaughter does a dance class that she really likes. And, you know, there might be something that, and I know that like during the COVID thing, you know, the dance classes are adapting, you know, they're making it so that it is okay. And they're taking steps to, you know, so they're not touching each other and everything, and making it safe safe from viruses and germs and things like that. So there are a lot of options, and I want you to be encouraged, and I want you to be okay with it, and I want you to excel. I want to show our country that our parents love our kids, and that we are going to be okay, and we are good to teach our own kids. We don't want to be like desperate for them to open school up the wrong way. And Audrey, I think that's key. Let them have some say in what they are learning, then apply school to that. Yes, definitely. And I feel like I did that with my older kids. They actually started music a lot younger. And so music was a big part of their life. They didn't really have a choice whether they were going to do music or not. But then through the years, it became really, you know, a blessing to them. And my kids, younger kids right now, they don't really want to do music lessons. So I'm still trying to find what they like, but I did get them the skateboard so they could get out and get some exercise, and that worked really well. One of them we had to return, so we're going to try and get another skateboard for that kid because he's kind of picky. But that's his, you know, if you're picky, you got to adapt. So, but yeah, finding what they enjoy. And my 3 younger boys are really good at sports. So I was really hoping that they would be the stars of the sports program, or whatever sports program they went into. So, okay. Are we done? Okay. So it paused there for a second. So yeah, I wanted them to excel in sports, but if that's not what's going to work for us this year, then we'll find other ways to do school, whatever we have to do. I homeschooled both my kids, and one zoomed in on photography. Ooh, and one music writing. Awesome, Luann. Yeah, so there's things, as long as we can find that niche that they want to enjoy and just go with it. And yeah, and they can excel at that. Now, I told you my daughter, she has kids. She might homeschool this year too. So then maybe we can help each other, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe they could do a Zoom call. I would like to see them get into computers, maybe making videos. My youngest is interested in making videos. So I want to teach him about making videos and how to do things on the computer, so that who knows what he'll come up with in the future. So there are ways that we can find what they like and have them zero in on that. And it's going to be hard for me with because they're used to just doing whatever they want right now. So the key is to have somewhat of a schedule, and that's what I found for me is I don't just like everybody gets in their pajamas and we just, you know, do school as we feel like it. You have to get a schedule and you have to write it down and you have to follow it. Otherwise, things don't get done, as you guys know. So following a schedule is important, and keeping up to a schedule is important. And then letting them have a say in what they do and being a part of it. And if some of the kids don't like to read, you can also do books on audio now. Like you could do audio books, you can do book clubs, you could do, you know, YouTube videos. When I was going to school, we did some books on YouTube, just listening on the way to school and on the way home. And it was just listening to someone read the books. So that's also an option. So just an encouragement, and I hope that this helps you guys. And thank you so much for coming. Yeah, I'm in the back room here, and it is hot. And right now we are getting a storm. It's like thunder. We're supposed to get lots of rain within the next few minutes. So I'm going to go check and make sure everything's buttoned down. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for commenting and stuff. I really appreciate it. I am using StreamYard, which is a really cool way to do your videos, and you can see the comments right on the side. If you're interested in trying that, you don't have to have two different devices. And I am using the free version. So if you go ahead and do the paid version, there are more features that you can do. But even with the free version, you can have up to 5 people talking on your thing at the same time. You can also share your screen. You can invite people. If you get the paid version, you can record it. If the free version, you can't. I think you can download with, like, after this, I could press download, or I don't have to. But if you want to get the paid for version, there are a few more features that you can do. You can have up to like 10 people at a time talking and stuff like that. But I am also paying for the Zoom version. So I already pay for Zoom to do people on Zoom and everything, but this is free, and I like how I can see the comments, and I can also put the comments on those. Like if I want to say, here's Luann, and I can put her comment up here and take it down. And I can do like this, which is really kind of cool. And that's with the free version if you're interested in trying it out. But you can't record it. Like I wanted to record a video and then put it up. I've done that with Zoom, but you can't really do that with StreamYard with the free version. So just a little heads up on that. So thank you all for watching. And if you are watching this video and you have not subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And I have some plans I want to do a video on why am I doing YouTube videos. And I have a couple of other ideas, as well as tips and tricks for iPad users, as well as people who want to use their iPad for, like what I have right here in the corner. I have my iPad connected to my computer, and I can put anything I want on this. So right here, I have this picture that I made up, and I'm just putting it on here. And if I wanted to show you one of my other pictures, I could do that. I could just go to this right here. Let's see, I'll show you. Oh, this is a picture of my family, one of our 4th of Julys. That's when my oldest was still part of our family at home. And we had a lot of fun that year. So you can also put pictures up here, and you don't have to hold your phone up to the camera. And I am also using Cam Twist. So with Cam Twist, you can swap the video source like this. And that might be quicker than doing like the swap your screen thing. You might want to try that for your out school also. And I'm thinking I might try it because I'm going to hopefully do out school soon. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for the thumbs up. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.